diagnosis. Oliver was not one of the 9 cases reviewed last year. There is currently no evidence that anything went wrong in his case, and while her complaints were not upheld, the hospital did apologise for her experience at Addenbrooke's.
If one professional has said, this is what he has, okay, I'm not 100% happy with it. But if a second says exactly the same as that first person, I would have been happy. I would have stepped back. But when a second person is saying something different to the original person, I still wasn't happy.
Nicola, like so many other parents, has her meeting at Addenbrooke's later this month, and like Lynn, she wants answers.
Yeah, very worrying for them. And Matthew Hudson is at Addenbrooke's receiving yet more developments in this story, Matt.
Indeed, over 30 years, I've reported many dozens of times about Addenbrooke's, everything from medical breakthroughs to the seemingly endless winter crisis every year, but I don't think I've ever seen a story that has developed like this. It was actually in February that the hospital told us and the world that a surgeon in his paediatric obstetrics department had been suspended because of concerns about the quality of their work in 9 children's cases. Now 800 of Coldeep Store's cases are being reviewed, with more anxious parents coming forward with concerns. Families we've spoken to have all been invited to meetings at the hospital, and in some cases at least have been advised to seek legal advice. This is a developing story which is developing into a major problem for Addenbrooke's. Now Coldeep Store didn't respond to a request for a comment from us, but she has already said she always strives to provide the highest standards of care, and that she is cooperating with the investigation. For its part, Addenbrooke's told us, we take this matter extremely seriously, and we reiterate our unreserved apologies to the children and their families whose care was below the standard they should have received. Our priority is for the answers that we know patients and families want.
Matthew, thank you very much.
Morning Day's news now. An inmate at a high-security prison in Cambridgeshire has been arrested on suspicion of murdering a convicted killer. John Mansfield, who was jailed for life in 2007 for the murder of his 63-year-old neighbour, Anne Alfonso, was found dead at HMP Whitemore in March on Sunday. A 44-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of his murder at the prison.
A High Court judge has ruled the libel claim against former West Suffolk MP Matt Hancock can go to trial. The ex-Health Secretary is being sued by fellow former Conservative Andrew Bridgen over a post on X in which Mr Hancock allegedly accused Mr Bridgen of anti-Semitism. Mr Hancock had been trying to get the case thrown out.
Tommy Robinson will find out this week whether an appeal against his 18-month prison sentence has been successful. Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon and is from Luton, was jailed last October for the civil offence of contempt of court, challenged the length of the sentence at the Court of Appeal. The decision is expected on Wednesday.
Now the Easter holidays are here. Many families will be looking for places to visit for a day out, and that might include a local independent museum.
Yeah, but new research suggests a lot of those museums are worried about their future and may be facing closure, reduced opening times, or even cuts to activities. Here's Kevin Ashton.
Marching District Museum in Cambridgeshire, which opens its doors 2 days a week, is free to get in. It's run entirely by volunteers. As with many museums of a similar size, finances can be a constant challenge.
We're supported very effectively by the Town Council, who gives us a grant each year. Nevertheless, the cost of things are rising, and we need to fundraise, we need to invest, and we need to look after things very carefully. But for some museums, especially if they have staffing costs, which fortunately we don't have here in a sense, then things look very bleak, with income not keeping in pace with rising costs.
It is a challenging climate for smaller museums. In a recent survey, 4 out of 5 said these were the toughest times they've ever faced, with visitor numbers yet to get back to pre-COVID levels. And 3 out of 5 said they feared possible closure. Around 500 museums have closed since the beginning of the century. A charity that works to get more youngsters into museums says they play an important role.
Families, school trips, most of those are to local museums. Children need to go to museums for learning, for well-being, for civic participation. If those opportunities are taken away in their local